This is Justin AMZN on Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. Take a look at the daily. Just a couple of things I wanted to point out here that I was looking at and kind of reviewing just where we're at um, before diving into the 5 minutes. So today we had an inside day. Uh, we've had four bullish candles in a row. The last time we did that is going back to, let's see, we had five here. We had four here. We had four here. Both of these, where there were four, ran right into this 1815 price and basically stopped there and reversed. Now today we actually pushed through 1815 just like we did yesterday with an upper wick. But I would not be surprised if, we've been somewhat retesting this area from below, and each time we did that back over here, it was met with resistance. I don't know if it's going to get back below it tomorrow. I think it will, but I don't know. Also, the last 5 days, the last 4 days. Well, technically, yeah, the last 5 days. So we gapped down, opened here, opened here, traded down. Let me just talk through the gaps. Gap down, gap up, gap down, gap up, gap down, possibly gap up tomorrow. If we do that, 21 is right above us. 1880 is really close to it. 1880.05. If we open up anywhere in the 1900s, we're going to be taking out, a couple of bears. There's a lot of bullish candles in here. I would take profits if we're up in 1900 range. It feels like too far, too fast. But again, we're into this next channel. Is it possible it opens up at 1950 near the top of this channel? I don't think so, but I've been proved wrong plenty of times as things have been just moving significantly over the last few weeks. And I've been proved wrong plenty of times, but I just want to butt to that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to open up that high. I like doing these videos a little bit later because I get an idea of things going on in futures and where things are kind of looking like they could open up, and things are down. So, with four bullish candles in a row and futures down, which means indices should be down. It seems like Amazon's holding up pretty well, which makes me feel like, again, it had further to fall from up here. That if it is up here, it has further to fall to get back down to at least the low of this channel. I don't know that we're done with this channel yet. So that's kind of what I want to think through or set up, because just we got to rally into the end of the day here. So into the 5 minute. Inside candle. So today moved inside of yesterday. That's all that means. But we did a really good job of pivoting at some of the same or similar places. We had this somewhat pivot resistance. We came right into that today. We had this pivot yesterday. We bounced off there not just once, but twice. I've had these pivots on here for so long. They've worked so well. I hope you're using them. The 1841.30, we got up to 1841.66. I didn't check the price on this, and I'm not in a mode to edit it. I'm drawing. So basically, we went from opening right at 1747, ran all the way up to 1841.30, came all the way down to 1747, went all the way back up. Okay, we didn't make it back up here, but we got back up into 1815. We saw it as a pivot there. It did this double bottom thing, and then that should have been a nice stair step that continued. It did not. It did not go up. It broke down. It retested. This was a nice little S curve here and just plummeted. Had a really strong hammer here, but it was just, buyers coming in, maybe people buying here that don't have my pivot down here. And sure enough, we came back down. So anyway, scrolling forward a little bit, after hours is what I'm talking about. We're up even more after hours. And it just feels like this rally into, really off of 1747, staying above that, and then rallying after the close. We had a really nice Let me draw again. We had a really nice consolidation here, and then broke out, and we're contending with pivot. Well, we didn't really even pause there, but we're up here. 1863.84. We're back up here. Oops, turn off the annotate and didn't get rid of it. There we go. Okay, so sorry, give it a sec. This is what we essentially did today. Pre-market, if we gap down, we're going to trap anybody who's bought up here, and we could trap any of the buyers up in here, and people who think, oh, we're back to normal, Amazon's going up, which there's great opportunities for Amazon to help and deliver things through a crisis throughout the United States and throughout the world. Wherever they're located, they can be delivering things. So services will continue. I don't know that the selling's over yet. And that's kind of what I was talking about. So, we've kind of slowed down a little bit. We had, the fifth candle here was going down, and then the third candle here, and then the second candle here. Here we are, 2 candles up, making higher lows. It's possible that, we'll have another low at some point come in or contend back down here. So hang on just a sec. I got to step away from the recording. I'm going to pause this. Pause share, pause recording. Where's that? Okay, just a sec. All right, so I'm back. That took more than a few minutes, and I totally lost track of where I was at. And okay, I was talking about where we could open, what we could do. I think we'll open below 1815, and I don't know that we're going to get back up to this level. If that happens, it could go down some more. Obviously, it could go back up. We could contend with some highs. But if we get a bearish candle inside again, this is kind of the rest that I was talking about, that it really, really needed. Like these candles up in here, we had a bearish candle and then a bullish candle and then a bearish candle again that were inside of this first one. We could do something similar up here. We have already got a big bullish candle, really big with these wicks. We've got a really solid bullish candle here, right off of 1747, really close up to 1841.30. With the close, I mean, we had the rally that after hours, continued on past this. So we're really up at this level, and we've had some selling from up here. We've had this wick and this wick and this wick. So that we're somewhat contending after hours with the prices up here, which is, there's been some good resistance. And we ran into all that resistance through here, at least the resistance zones. I'm somewhat anticipating more pullback. And so I've been talking about how much further we could go down. I think that's what I was saying when I had to pause the videos. We could come back down here pretty soon. I don't know that it's going to be this week. I wouldn't be surprised if it was this week. But I've been urging you on bullish positions to really just figure out how to protect yourself, getting into puts that are further out, further strikes that are further out of the money, and expirations that are further out. So you've got some time on your side. So that way you're protecting, what you have, or putting more protection in place than how many shares you have. So again, please email me at justinamazontrades@gmail.com, and let me know that that's some information you're looking for, and I'll shoot you an email back as soon as I can get to it. And we'll see what we can do. Bullish and bearish, looking at options, but if you got shares, learn how to protect yourself with puts. Looking at today, it was really hard to be buying right here and knowing it was going to go bullish. I mean, you really didn't know, because you didn't know for sure that it was going to go bullish. This was looking like a double bottom, yes. But we were consolidating so much right here, it really could have gone bearish as a gap down from this. I'm seeing kind of a triangle up here, or it could have gone bullish from this, but which it obviously did. Looking at the 3-minute, it's made easier. The 3-minute here, and this is going to jump around for a sec. There we go. Okay, so the 3-minute, big bullish candle, gave you a little bit of a rest here for 6 minutes. A nice hammer here, We came back into that hammers range again on the 3-minute here. Really nice consolidation. This is one of those consolidations, should have broken bullish, did not, broke down, S curve retested, retested up here into that apex again, rolled over with another S curve, and then further down. So you can start to see, kind of these triangles coming back in, because essentially the last 2 days have been somewhat sideways. So we're finally getting a little bit of a rest. So we'll see if we continue to do that some more. If we can bounce around in this range, 1747, 1815 again tomorrow, or even up to 1841.30, if we can stay in this range, give it time to rest. It can totally do that. It doesn't have to sell off, or it could wait to sell off till it's rested some more. This is some of the calls, this is a 1950 call. I think we looked at this early in the week, but it's kind of back in play because it's a little more than 100. Well, at one point today, it was a little more than 100 points out of the money, but it actually moved decently well. On that open, it actually had a lower wick. I don't know if this was people just getting stopped out and it given whatever price probably it was. But looking at this, you could have been buying at 3 by 2. That doesn't work. The range on this is huge. Okay. I was misreading this. I was thinking it was 1. Yeah, this would have been harder to trade. 1950 was hard to trade. Wow. I misread this. Thought it was a $1 or 1 point strike. So later in the day, it got easier. Buying at 3 by 2, and then flipping that out at 5. That would have worked. Actually worked twice. Buying 3 by 2 here, buying 3 by 2 here, flipping it at 5 each time. That would have been holding the last 5 minutes, which I'm more comfortable doing. Bullish on, either direction. But doing that on a non-expiration date. But on Friday, I don't like holding right into that close. And I was talking about that on Friday's video, because I didn't do that and I missed a massively huge trade, but it wasn't something I would normally have been waiting to make the gains into the last few minutes of the market. I'm just not there yet. So I will be someday. But anyway, opportunity is bullish. Late in the day, you can see kind of this, lower highs, lower lows as the premium is getting sucked out, and it did move sideways today. So that, it's going to happen, but it's just interesting that it held kind of the open range or the open price here around, $3, came back into that later in the day. Looking at some puts. Okay, we're way out of the money here. 1600. This bounced around quite a bit. Still quite a bit out of the money. I'm on the 1 minute. Sorry. There's way too many candles there. All right. So as I was making those highs into 1841, that was up in here somewhere. Where did it make that high? Okay. So the high was at 905 at 1841.30. And the put at 905 actually made a low here, made a lower low here, and yet made still lower lows over here. So this is what I was talking about the other day. You get usually half an hour later. In this case, it was over an hour later, actually an hour and a half later, where you're actually putting in a low. And a lot of times these retests will do this. So it's actually in this area over here. What time was the actual low? Okay, 11:30. And 11:30. Oh my gosh, 11:30 was right here. So you could have waited not only for this kind of pattern to play out and break down, and for a retest here and a retest here, all the way back up into that apex high wave candle that breaks down, and then a retest after that. That was the ideal place. So again, 30 minutes later was the ideal place to be going bearish here, and it looks like you could have gotten into a low or been buying around like $4 at that time, and that was an even lower low than over here. So again, 1600 strike, way out of the money. At this point, it's what is it, 200? Oops, where was I? I was up here. So a little more than 200 strikes, or 200 points out of the money. Way more strikes than that. But it's just really interesting to see that at this level, this is where the lowest early. I mean, the low was made in the morning here after all of these highs or lower highs. Seems like this shouldn't have been the lowest of the put lows. It seems like this should have been, but this is the premium getting sucked out. So let's look at something a little bit closer. Let's look at 1650. Okay, I gotta zoom in on this because I'm not used to looking at it when it's way out like that. And it needs a sec. So I remove that. And then I go in here. And this was much more expensive. Okay, so this was a little closer and still made a low at, okay, in this case, 1125. This was a really nice relative low, right around $8 all the way through this. I actually like this option better. So that was, why is this resized? So that, even though it was making lower highs, the puts stayed steady with about $8 on that low all throughout that time. And so getting in 8x7 in here was totally possible with $100 risk, and then just let that ride. And obviously it came back to 1747, didn't get as high as the high here, but still, if you're getting at 8 and you get out at 18, there's 10R, and you just missed a little bit more, which still was another 50%, 40% more. So anyway, yeah, the move from here down to here took slightly longer and wasn't from the high. You don't need to be buying the high, but came down to basically the same low price. So this did it in 35 minutes, and then this did it in an hour and 60 minutes. Yeah, so it took twice as long. Didn't quite move as far, but you didn't have to be buying, looking for it to reverse. You could have waited for the reversal, waited for the retest of the reversal, and then waited for it to retest the retest. So, I mean, it gets a little crazy, but anyway, the best opportunity was here, and again, off of a pivot, off of this pivot here, where it looked like it was going to break up, did not. Stair step, broke down, retested, and it's in this retest would have given you that last chance to get in, before it rolled over. But I mean, you could have been buying here, for the same price. So, and then, looking to go bullish again here. I think we talked through that one. Bearish again over here. What was the price over here? So you probably would have lost quite a bit because it made it this far and then went further out of the money back up to this. Again, retesting the same level, which it's crazy. This high wave candle got retested once, twice, 3 times, and then this was retested this one. So let's see, this made a slightly higher high. So I guess it was this candle. All right. Anyway, but those high wave candles at certain times of the day. All right, so we pulled back even further. So we made the low around 8, and then down here we came down even to 6, but did get some opportunities here. So this was, that's a good spike in volume. What is that? 187 contracts. Okay, so this was at 215. This was not 215. This was 215 on the bullish candle. Okay, so this, again, it's like a double top up here. It could have been getting in after it rolled over. So you're not calling the top here. You're not calling this as the pivot. You're waiting for the pivot to work. It's retesting back up to the pivot or close enough to it that you can set it up, getting in the same price you could add up here. And then you've got some room if your entry is here and your stop is then probably a bit up here, since that was the same option price. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay. So I talked about where I think we go tomorrow. I think lower. If we go higher, great. I'm wrong. Hope you're making more money bullish. And the higher we get, I'm going to look for more opportunities to protect a rollover. And we'll see if and when we get one. I think we're going to get more of one tomorrow. Just seeing that we've really been making some higher lows in here. Actually, now that I zoom out like this, let me draw because this just kind of jumped out. That is way, 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 way too good not to have kind of sketched in here. I don't know where the high is because that doesn't quite line up. I'm not sure where the high is on a channel like this. Wonder if, can I connect any other lows? Oh, these are the same angle. I just drop it there. Yeah. Okay. So what if, wait a sec, let me draw again. And if you're still here watching this, thank you, because this is kind of where it gets a little bit more creative or fun to try and figure out, okay, what if this is a wedge? What if, because if it's a wedge, it has I think a higher probability, and I don't know the stats, of doing some sort of a breakdown. A bullish wedge like this has a higher probability of breakdown. So I'm trying to get the highs. Obviously, I'm doing this, it wouldn't have helped me trade today after hours up to this price. I'm just trying to get some of these highs, some of these upper wicks. Yeah, this one needs to go a little lower. Get those. I'm just trying to capture the highs. This was probably like a false breakout kind of one. So that's pretty good. That carries a bunch of the highs, which they're increasing highs, but they're going slower increasing compared to the lows increasing. And that's what makes it a wedge. So if we extend this, and so I still have it tied to the, I need to get to this other one. Where is that? Come on. Sorry, this is getting a little more annoying. Oh, because I moved it that far down. Okay, I just need to go back. Sorry, I need to redraw this because I can't get to the endpoints very easily. And then I was trying to connect it to those for the same angle. So let me do that again with a slightly different angle. Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm like repeating this, but I'm just trying to get these lined up. So, okay, I'm going to move this one way out a bit, and I'm approximating, obviously. But if we have something where this and this consolidate up here tomorrow, then I think Friday, if we consolidate up here tomorrow for Thursday, I think I did it again. Sorry. I think if this is Thursday, I think Friday is either going to be even smaller up here or could be the breakdown if we're actually going to break down. And I think with options expiration Friday, monthly options expiration Friday, there could be much more selling. I don't know the impact in terms of how far down we've gone and people covering short positions, which means buying, and people who are long getting out of, locking things in or with any hedges. I don't know what it's going to entail. But I think Friday is going to have a lot of volume. And if we're going slightly higher on the lows and less higher on the highs, it's setting up for a wedge, and it could be a big move down. Now, if we go ahead tomorrow and break down and we're around 1747 again, look for a quick pop, a quick bounce off of that and roll down from this. And that could be a nice, again, bearish trade. So I'm mostly looking at this bearish. I feel like it's getting too high, too fast. So look for it to get back up into 1815, 1841.30, 1863.84, 1880.05. Look for it to get into these pivots again and take some profits and look to get into something bearish. And if you're playing it with this week's options, let me know what you're doing, and we can take a look in here, and I can kind of track, kind of how it's moving. But I've really only got Thursday's video to do that, because Friday I'll be doing it later, or I'll wait till Sunday to do the video, and I won't be able to, help navigate that, or at least kind of make an assessment on the option. I'm gonna leave this on here right now just because I don't know what's going to work out, a channel like this or this line, but and I need to move this back, otherwise it's going to jump. So let me move this back into today's time frame. So I'm going to do that one there, and then I'm going to move this one here. And then, okay, now that I'm back in today's time frame, I can go and extend to the right. This is what I should extend to the right the trend line. There we go. And extend to the right channel. Okay. So yeah, it's pointing to being up here somewhere. So I'm gonna leave this on and we'll see what we end up doing. Let me go up with a bigger time frame, like 30 minutes, and see. You got some consolidation here. So it's seeing that we've got an inside day today. Totally. It's got a similar angle up to this up, and then it's got some downs here because it's drawing just the straight wick. When you go to the 30-minute, this totally looks like a false breakout. And let me go to the hourly because that may help even more. And that looks like the wedge is going to get almost up to 1925. Actually, it's got a really nice X marks the spot at 1925. And I just zoomed out. Look at that. Okay, now I know that that is not exactly going to be tomorrow, and this is not exactly going to be Friday. But that's kind of cool. Friday expiration, it looks like 1925. If it does that and you make money on it, let me know because that'd be really cool to see an X like that. I personally don't think we're going to get up there. I can be wrong. If we get bearish, I think similar to like a triangle opening, like a wedge opening, I think we could have a bigger move like from here down to here. So like 150 points or something, 130 points from wherever we break down. So like 1815, if we break down into probably 1665, that'd be a nice way to move. I don't know that we're going to take out this low. This is like a brick wall of support in here until it's not, obviously. I looked at that on the 4-hour, and man, you can just see we've bought from there and we've bought from there. Oops, it jumped. So last time we got in here was 16. Oh, I had it before. This is 16 price. I'm not seeing it. There we go, 1618. So we're actually lower than we are now. Obviously, the speed at which we've gone down is much more significant now. And things eventually will slow down. They're just not doing it yet, you know. And then we had a ton of triangles showing up over here as all this consolidated. And even over here, we had a low of, okay, we were into the 15s, 1586, 57. So we've held lows in the 1600s once, twice, 3 times, obviously slightly lower lows plus the higher highs. So this is actually making a really large, I haven't drawn this. I know I kind of have it drawn over here, right? So that's somewhat this where it's the channel. I wonder if it's cleaner on this one, including after hours. I was just having fun drawing tonight. You don't have to keep watching. If you are, though, like I said, that's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, so it's not as accurate to just draw and connect the dots, you know, and it's cutting through some. So, I mean, that, let me go grab the other end of it and move it. That's grabbing the highs. That's grabbing highs. That's cutting through highs. So, I mean, yeah, it doesn't fit. There's not a great fit to these. Another thing I'll say is, does it connect to the others? No, because I've done this before on the daily, and we're fine using the daily. So anyway, really, really crazy how far we've moved. We've essentially taken out any, you know, with the low we were at just the other day, we've taken out gains going back to October. I mean, yeah, I mean, even this level we hadn't been at since February and March of last year. So it was March of last year at this level, and we've held since then. That shows you how strong these levels were back in March. This consolidation setting things up. If we break below that, it's going to be significant. Trying to see if there's anything else here that sticks out. You got a big double top up here. You got an S curve here, S curve here. I wonder if this is like a secondary S curve, and it could pop up into 1900 and then roll back down. That's entirely possible. If this is another retest up here, it could push a little bit higher and then roll over. I guess we'll find out tomorrow, the next couple days, if we keep moving up bullish. We'll just have to wait and see. All right. Hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.